Okay, I might have messed up the streaming settings, but let's go because I would love to share this with you. It's already late, it's already 10 o'clock, and normally I would stop working by now, but this is so beautiful and so huge that I'm like, I have to talk about this. This Wednesday, I was in the Akashic Records and I was guided to do some ancestral healing, but I didn't know why. I actually pulled a tarot card and it was about ancestral healing and I didn't know why. And I was like, okay, let's just go. And what started happening was, it was about abundance, it was about prosperity. Now, do you know someone? Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone else, but do you know someone who is trying all of the things to get more abundance in their life, but somehow it is not working? Somehow the universe is not flowing in that direction, and they may try things, but they constantly keep on struggling somehow. I know many. I have been one myself, even though recently it is way better. But there were still some things that I needed to clear there. And then I realized there was actually 3 major reasons why, even though you do everything in your power to get more abundance, there were 3 major reasons that were stopping abundance from coming in, which was incredible. So I'm gonna share them with you because I would love to share them as soon as possible and get this off my chest. Because after I did this healing, literally I started to feel meridians, energy pathways open up in my body. And they haven't closed yet. It's 2 days later and they haven't closed yet. And since then I just feel so open, and I feel so ready to share more. I feel so grateful. So yeah, this is special, this is powerful. So I would love to talk about this, and let me quickly check if I'm really live, because I just went very spontaneously. I think I'm streaming. So let's go. The 3 ways. The 3 ways are as follows. The first thing that I found out was that I had ancestral patterns. Now, and what are ancestral patterns? Ancestral patterns are basically your DNA. It's in your ancestors, or it's in your behavior. It can be in your subconscious mind as well. But basically, you come from a family line, and that family line goes deep into the ages. Now, you might have some information in that energy line that is still blocking your abundance. For example, what if your family was threatened because you were very rich? The whole family might has maybe they needed to flee from their own country because they were rich and the people didn't like it, and they started to hunt for them. So that family trauma might still have an effect on you now, and your energy subconsciously might really block the experience of abundance from keeping into your life. So I was in that ceremony, and I was really feeling 14 pathways into my body, going into my body, and somehow my subconscious was able to light them up for me. And these pathways went into these different kind of DNA connections. I don't even know how to describe it, but they clearly said to me, this is ancestral. So your family has some blocks. They are holding on to levels of lack. They're holding on to levels of scarcity. And now we're going to change it. So the first level was to change the ancestral lines. And that already cleared up most of it, because they said I had 14 ancestral connections that were still blocking the full level of abundance from coming in. So that's 1. And then level 2, and before I go into level 2, I wanna say this. There can be also just physical things. You might just never took action, or you might there are physical things that that can block you from abundance. But if you are someone who already did so much work and it's still not coming in, then these hidden things might be the solution, because they're hidden because they're not you. You did everything in your power, right? They're hidden because they're not you. So one can be your ancestor lines, and it's hard, like we don't really know what our great grandfather thought about money, or if he was abundant or scarce, but your DNA knows. You know, there is information in your body that definitely has stored that. So we can clear that. The beautiful news is we can clear that. Now the second hidden thing that I discovered, and I already knew it, I already did some work on it, but not fully apparently, were past lives and parallel lives. And you can, in our minds it's easier to think about past lives. So let's call them past lives. So you have had past lives. These doesn't have to be connected to your ancestry line. They can be on Earth, but it can be from a completely different family line. They also doesn't have to be on Earth. And these past lives, that's where the Akashic Records are thriving in. They are so easily seeing all of your past lives. And they saw, even though I did a lot of work on it, that I still had 3 past lives that were not in alignment right now. Now, past lives are not necessarily in our DNA. The Akashic Records tell me they are stored in our RNA and in our junk DNA. Junk DNA is like the medical term for, yeah, there is a lot of DNA here, but we don't know what it's for, so we call it junk. But it is not junk. Everything has a purpose in your body, including junk DNA. And your past lives are stored there. But these connections can have what they call past life vows. Now that is when, similar to a family that might have financial trauma, that's when you vow someone, and that vow is so strong, it's like a commitment you put into the quantum world. It's like, you know, like, I will never be rich again. Now, why would you never be rich again? Because rich is not necessarily nice, you know, like maybe when you're constantly in poverty or in feeling you're not enough, of course, you might think the solution is to be rich. But being rich or being wealthy has another whole set of problems to deal with. You need to protect your money. You need to protect yourself. You might lose friends, or you might only gain fake friends, right? These are different problems to deal with. So you might have had a lifetime where you were rich, but you had never a real human connection, right? So money was so easy for you, but you never had a real human connection because everyone was after your wealth. So you might have felt incredibly lonely. And in that loneliness, you might have vowed to yourself or to the universe, I don't ever want to have a lot of money again. It's done. I don't want to ever be lonely again. Everyone is just after it. I don't want to go there, right? That's a very reasonable vow. But it can be so strong that it reverberates after that incarnation has finished. And when that happens, that's what we can do to heal it, because we can neutralize these energies. We don't have to live with these reverberations forever. We can actually neutralize these energies. So that's what the second step they did, was to neutralize these energies. And then already I started to feel pathways open up, like complete meridians open up, like in my legs, the inner side of my legs, the inner side of my arms, as if gold started to appear here. And that was such a physical feeling. I knew it was not my mind thinking this. This was really like, whoa, I never felt this before. And it feels great. And that opening of those pathways didn't stop. That ceremony that I did with myself was on Wednesday, right? And then we have the third hidden thing that I didn't know of until recently, but apparently you have a treasury. And apparently I have a treasury too, which is great. And this is not necessarily, you might also have a physical treasury, but you have a treasury when it comes to prosperity and when it comes to abundance. And many loved ones and many people, including yourself from different vantage points and incarnations, have stored things inside of your treasury. Now you have the availability to open a treasury, but if you don't know, why would you open it? So the first thing they did in the ceremony, this was so powerful, they gave me a key, they guided me through a door, and they said, just open this door. And I opened that door and I saw like, wow, there was so much beauty there. There was so much gold, there were so many different things and artifacts and wisdom in little bottles, and I even saw like a beautiful fountain that was constantly rejuvenating itself, and there were all these beautiful artifacts and aspects in that treasury. And after I opened it and I explored it, they said to me, yeah, now this connection is open, so you can expect a whole lot of abundance coming into your life, because your energy will at one point reflect into the physical world. So with your energy now open, your physical world will reflect this openness, right? So I was just there. I was on my own. Yeah, I was together with the Akashic Records, but I just was guided by a tarot card, and all of these things started happening and appearing, and I started to feel such an opening that I was like, oh my God, I have to share this with you. So you might have ancestral connections holding you back and your manifestation back. You might have past lives vows holding you or your manifestation back, and you might not know that you have an incredible treasury available to you, and you can open that treasury. You can open that connection. You can already be completely filled up inwardly with the knowingness that there is abundance everywhere, inside you and out. Now that happened to me, and it was so powerful that I was like, I have to share this, and I'm gonna share this. And if you want to, on this solstice, the 21st of June, I would love to do a workshop live where I guide you through it. So this is gonna be like normally I do this only for my community. We have our workshop, our advanced workshops, but I just felt like I want to share this with everybody. This is so powerful. My community is definitely invited. I already invited them, but I wanted to invite you too, because this is so powerful. I want everyone to live like this. I want everyone to be open to this abundance connection. So I believe in the description, and when I finish streaming, I will also put it in the comments. I will put a link. I can even share it with you. It's a very easy link. I just created it today. Let me see if I can share this. So where you go to the link is course.akashicrecordschool.com/solstice. You will see this. And this is the description. It's going to be 2 hours of ceremony. The third hour will be Q&A. If you want to ask questions, you don't have to be there. But I will just be there for another extra hour to answer your questions. I think this ceremony is priceless, but I feel I want to do this incredibly affordable. So this is going to be 11 euros. If you're in America, it will be automatically calculated in dollars, or if in any other country, you will be automatically, the currency will be automatically calculated. And it will be the 21st of June. It will be, for Europe time, where I am, it will be 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So it will be very accessible for everyone in the Americas, in North and South America, and Canada, of course, and the European countries, and Africa and South Africa. But there will also be a replay available. So I will record the event, and if you registered, you also have access to the replay. I'm so excited to share this with you. Like, I already told you what has happened, but I want to guide you through a journey where the Akashic Records and your team of light and you and your consciousness will also be able to do that for you. So what that means is, after that ceremony, you will be free from ancestral patterns. The ancestral energy that was keeping you stuck will completely be transformed into the connections that you have with your most abundant and prosperous ancestors. You will be completely removed from all the past life vows. They will be neutralized. So you will not have any effect of that. And you will have the key to connect with your treasury, and you will know how to every time go to your treasury to see all of the abundance that you already have inside of you and that you have gathered over many, many, many lifetimes. Isn't that awesome? Come on. I love it. I love it. So I just wanted to quickly jump live. I didn't even announce it. It was so spontaneous. And I want to go more live also on YouTube like this. But yeah, feel free to sign up. I hope to see you there. In any way, I hope that you have your most abundant, your most prosperous year, and that from this moment forward, you will just continuously expand in the most authentic and beautiful way. Thank you. It was so fun to be with you in this live stream.